We return with another things we like about FIFA 19 career mode. As Tom White says, this is like therapy for me because sometimes you have to say something nice about the thing that's driving you nuts, but it's not going to last long because this series ain't got much longevity to it. If you enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up for me. Let's get to 500 likes. And if you're new around here and you want to see more career mode videos, hit the subscribe button today and the notification bell and you won't miss any. So in the last episode I did last week, I asked you guys to leave some comments about the things that you like in career mode, and I managed to gather a few different opinions in the comments, but a lot of people didn't leave much. And I think that's because in part 1 I pretty much spoke about all the stuff we like in career mode. Anyway, Andrew left his comment on the last week's episode. He thinks that was the last episode because so many things in FIFA's career mode are being hated by the players, and that's true. I think there's a lot more things you can say that are negative about career mode. There's a lot more things that you can say that improve the game mode because I think EA is not using it to its maximum potential. There's a lot more things they can do with it. And in terms of being positive about it, there's not much you can say because the main things are basically cosmetic stuff and maybe a few little different features here and there. So I'm going to start today's episode with my list. I just have a few things that I want to talk about. The first one is the warm-up cutscenes. I do enjoy the warm-up cutscenes. I think that was something new that was added last year, but this year they've really worked on them, added a few more different animations and little scenes. And I like especially the fact that the bibs in the Champions League and Europa League warm-up scenes have the official branding like equal game, respect. You know, it's not just generic bibs like you see in the Premier League version. So I really like this little detail to the bibs on the Champions League one. And I also like the fact that the stadium is half empty now. Last year the stadium was always full in the warm-up scenes, but this year they've decided to keep them half empty during it, which is nice because in the real world the stadium is not full until the game's about to kick off. So it's a nice little detail there. So the next thing I like in career mode is a little thing, but it does help if you want to make a career mode that's realistic. I like the ability to disable the first summer transfer window. Usually in previous games I've always just kept that on because I wanted to spend all the money, improve the squads, you know, straight away. But this year I decided to keep it more realistic, keep the same squads for the first 6 months and try and do well with the team that I've been given. And I really enjoyed having the teams be all realistic, all the same as real life. And if you have this feature enabled, you know, you start getting Ericsson to Man City and all these other transfers, and it starts to become a little bit unrealistic in the first summer transfer window. So I think what I'm going to be doing from now on is just disabling the first 6 months and then having it open up in January, because then I can use the teams that they use in real life, at least for the first half of the season. The next thing I like in career mode is the transfer search menu. Now, I don't know about you, but I use this more than the global transfer network, and I'll tell you why. First off, I can't be bothered waiting for the scout half the time. I can't be bothered like sending them away for 3 months trying to find the best players. So usually I just type in the names of players that I know in my head are pretty good based on real world football. And maybe I look at databases as well, like so FIFA, or I use my transfer guide. And I just sign players based on that. Like it tells you potential straight away. You don't need to wait for the scout. I know it's probably not the best way to do career mode stuff if you want to keep it so realistic, but sometimes I just don't have the time to wait. Now this feature was one that was introduced this year, and it's a pretty neat one, but it's not available for every club. It's only for a select few. So when you're playing in the Premier League, for some clubs, they will have their normal Premier League fonts and that, but when you go outside of the Premier League and you play like cup competitions or the Champions League, they get their European kit fonts, which I think look better than the Premier League ones. But yeah, that's a nice little feature that was added this year, and I know it's a little thing, but it does help because that's what happens in real life as well. The next thing that I like in career mode is something that you probably haven't thought of, but it is something that I personally appreciate, and that is the calendar simulations feature, which allows you to sim months of career mode in advance. And it's useful for me because when I need to do experiments and make videos, I can do a lot of simulations quickly. I don't have to do one day at a time, which is useful. And also you guys might like this feature as well because you might do Road to Glories or rebuilds and you don't want to play every game, so this is helpful. And maybe if your career mode freezes on the dashboard, you can use this feature as well to skip past the thing that's freezing your dashboard up, like the deadline day glitch. So this next one was suggested by Carson. He likes the fact that the added time clock does not stop anymore. So have you ever played career mode in previous titles? I'm pretty sure you have. You would know that the game never told you how much injury time you actually had because it stopped counting. It would just hit 45 or hit 90 and it would say +1 or +2. And it wasn't a very good indication because sometimes it felt like you had like an extra 10 minutes of added time when it was only supposed to be 1 or 2. But in this game, it hits 45 or it hits 90, and let's say you have 2 minutes of added time, it will keep counting like 1 minute, 2 minutes, so you actually know how much injury time you have left now, which I think is very useful. The next thing we like is suggested from Momongu Gaming, and he likes the fact that you get bigger amounts of cash now if you save a lot of money in the season before. Many times in career mode, back in previous titles, you would have a good transfer budget, but you couldn't use that money in the next season. It became useless after. So this year, if you save a lot of money, you can get a bigger amount of cash injected into your transfer budget, and basically you're being rewarded for managing your money well. So with this Manchester United career mode I didn't spend a cent for the first season. I saved 235 million, I think it was something around there. And the next season they gave me like 260 million as a budget increase. So I ended up with a total of 400 and something million to spend in the second year of the managing term. So I guess it's pretty good. Some people would say it's a bit unrealistic how much money they're giving out now, but it's better than struggling for cash in previous years. The next thing we like was suggested by Slegger. He says, for winning the Norwegian League, you get the in real life Champions badge on the sleeve. Now, I've been showing you guys a lot of different leagues that have the Champions patch now. This one is a new one. I haven't actually showed you guys the Norwegian Champions badge, but when you do win it in career mode, you get like a gold color one, and it has some more Norwegian words around it. Probably says champion or something. And the normal one just has the Alti box name, and it's a different color. So if you do win it, you get that gold one. So this next one is also similar, but I haven't showed you this before on the channel, so I wanted to show you because a few people have been messaging me about it. But the first one to do so was Beren's, and they like the fact that the Portuguese badge does change now when you win the league. So I managed to win it with Benfica, and I got that patch in the middle, and it's a nice little gold one as well. So if you do win the league in the Portuguese career mode, you can get this patch as well. The next thing that we like comes from Lina, and they like the fact that you can customize your European competitions before you play career mode. So all you have to do is go to the career mode settings page, go to European competitions, hit the triangle button, and you can edit your groups. You can randomize them by pressing the R3 for the PlayStation, so you can put basically whatever you want. You can swap some teams, so if you want to get rid of United and put Cardiff in that group, you can do that. You can replace a team, which means if you want to put Arsenal there instead of United, you can do that as well. I like to keep things more realistic, but there's some of you guys that probably like to throw in your team into one of these competitions because they didn't qualify in real life. So this is pretty useful, and it reminds me of what they did with the World Cup mode a few months ago as well. The next thing that I like in career mode is the player editor, and you can put things like ankle tape and your color of the tape and waist untucked or tucked in. You know, it's pretty nice, and it can change the boots as well. So if you want to put some new boots in, you can do these, flick through them. So it's just better than seeing the same boots throughout the season, the same kit styles on the players and stuff. You can customize it to the way you want to do it. In winter, if it's looking cold, you can put gloves or you can take them off. So it's just something little, but it's appreciated. I also like the team sheets feature where you can set up your own multiple lineups. So you can have one for your first team, one for your reserves. That's what I usually do. And when it's time to rotate the squad, you don't have to go into team management all the time and fix every position. You can just flick through with the R stick, and you can quickly switch between Man United default or reserves. So this is something that saves a lot of time, and I do like it. Another thing that I enjoy in career mode is the EA Catalogue. If you press the R3 button, it takes you to the catalogue. So there's a lot of items you can buy in this catalogue. All you have to do is play the game to get the credits for this catalogue, and you just press the R stick in career mode, it'll take you to the catalogue. You can buy focused training items. You can do scouting future stars as well. Financial takeover, which is the most popular one, where a billionaire buys your club and gives you a lot of money. And there's also international manager offer as well. So they're the main items. I wish EA would add a few more in. Maybe they can get creative and start adding stuff in to this little catalogue, but it's not bad. There's also a few balls you can buy there and some other Ultimate Team stuff as well. I also enjoy the Squad Hub because it's like the main area where you can keep track of your player stats. You can see players that have contracts expiring in 9 months, and you can renew their contracts from here. You can view offers from here. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can also view their season stats. So Valencia's played 4 games in the Premier League, averages 5.8, and you can keep track of who's doing well in your season. I wish they would keep stats for previous seasons, because sometimes there's players that have like a fantastic breakout season, and you know they're never going to repeat it, but you just won't be able to keep their stats unless you take a photo with your phone or something. So there's also financial stuff as well for the player. It's just a central area where you can view a lot of different stats about your players.